We're live. Okay, so the people voted a channel base, so I'm going to start with a pretty generic town hall comp. Nothing too fancy, just something that I can build off of pretty easily. So it's pretty easy to just start with a box and then work on some walls on a corner for connections. So I can build a inferno off of my town hall just like that. And then I'm going to use the comp that I posted in inspiration, and we are going to make it so that this is not breakable from other angles. Okay, so we got that. We are going to make this compartment with holes as well. And we'll cut it in like that. Alright, now I'm going to start. I like to, when I'm building my channel bases, I like to go right to eagle afterwards, or kind of just have a compartment here, and then I can build off of that. Probably eagle will be opposite of the town hall on the other side of the channel, so like over here-ish. And that's the goal. Okay, so we can make that one straight. We'll knock this all the way to the side because channel bases take up a lot of space. Okay, so we'll do a scatter in the core, and then we're gonna wiggle like that. That doesn't have to be wiggled though. Okay, so eagle like this because it fits. So I'm just trying to find a way to fit key buildings and not have too much reachable together, because you should be able to value spread pretty well. This compartment, I know it's really basic here. I am just going to let it like that, and then if I have extra walls at the end, I will add more walls. So my scatter comp here, this is a good opportunity for me to try and like connect two compartments together here, because of the way I have my walls set, I can do a pretty easy dead zone. So I'm just going to do something like this. Yeah, that's not 100% right. Alright, we're going to do something like this. I know this is tight on space, but it's fine. I'll probably throw some huts out here and then maybe some Teslas. I should be able to do this with 2 huts, I believe. Yes. 3. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to do that like that. Cool. So now it's going to be making the wall for this. I believe that's it, good. So we're just going to do that. Once again, I'm looking for areas where I can get away with having value reachable from the same compartments. So like this, for example, I can do this dead zone, but if I need walls, I can take it. I have that option. I can bring this in one more because I don't want to waste walls here. And I do not need this extra wall extending like that. So, okay, this scatter comp. So if I go a 5x5 here, and I can knock this wall in. I'm just trying to make space on the map here to actually have a reasonable compartment. So this is what we're going to do. So this is a compartment I like using a lot. You guys have seen it before. It's been posted in inspiration. It's been kind of all over the place. But I'm just trying to find a way to... I like having scatters together. I like having one of them separated from the rest of the defenses, and I like having one of them kind of in the core. I feel like it's very difficult to lalo around. Okay. I have to find a way to make this scatter not reachable from the outside. So we're going to change up this Inferno comp a little. If I do this, it's going to be cheaper on walls, and it is going to make it so that the scatter can't be reached from the outside, or cannot be broken from the outside. Hold on. Yeah, that's okay like that. Okay, good. So now we're just gonna connect it like this. Have it kind of similar. Now what I created here is I can do a dead zone. And now this scatter won't be directly targetable with a wall breaker. I can do the same type of dead zone I had before and extend it with my 2 walls like I had. So now all I need to do is I need to finish this scatter compartment, and then I need to make one more Inferno compartment, which shouldn't be too hard. I think I could probably do an Inferno here, but I don't want to leave my Town Hall super exposed. So I could do one here, or I could do one here. It just kind of depends how this scatter compartment turns out and how I'm able to build around it. Okay, questions list. Okay, first question would be to explain value spread. Value spread would be the way that you spread your defenses in a way that a queen or other troops are not able to reach one key defense from another key defense. So for example, this dead zone is set up in a way that a queen cannot reach the scatter from the eagle compartment. So when she stands here, she can't shoot the scatter. If I would move this wall, now she can shoot that scatter. So I'm setting up my walls in a way that I can pick and choose what can and cannot be reached from other compartments. And then how hard should you go on unbreakable compartments versus comps with holes? I'm assuming you mean how hard should you go on breakable compartments versus compartments with holes in them. I like a lot of my exterior compartments with holes. However, if I could get away with, like, say, I could do something like this. If I had space on the map, something like that would not necessarily be bad. I don't like having both sides of a compartment open when it leads into another compartment. However, this base is just going to be a little bit of an exception of that because I need to have this unbreakable here. I don't want to super wall breaking this junction open right here, and then I have a big problem. So that's why I'm doing this. Now, the other option would be I could knock this Inferno back more. So, for example, I could say knock this scatter forward, which I think this is what I'm going to end up doing. I'm struggling with this. I can knock this scatter forward like that, and then I can knock this back. And as long as I don't put any buildings, like if I put a cannon here, or if I put a cannon here, there's chances that things would path to the scatter, but as long as I don't put anything like that in these places, the scatter's still safe. And because it's in the core, it's kind of the only weakness to doing something like this would be a smash attack, but because we're building a channel, it's very likely a smash attack would split left or right once they get into the middle of the base. So we'll knock these walls back a little bit, and then we can continue to do that. One side is breakable, one side would not be. With this, we're just going to do a little cut there, I believe. I think that's okay, like, maybe not. Let's just leave it. Let's just see how it looks, because we're not done with the base yet. Okay, so we can cut this. This looks good. So I am not necessarily making the most beautiful compartments here. I'm just trying to make this so that it's not breakable, and then I can kind of look at it and adjust. Usually I'd like to have buildings in between these. I don't like to just have open space like that. Okay. So let's, instead of a scatter here, let's go with a inferno because it's smaller. I want to try and get some buildings in there. And my other option would be knock this inferno to back here, if that's what I have to do. I just need to see the sizing of this. Okay, so yeah, that'll be okay. So we'll size it like that. So I like to go boxy with compartments to start, and then I can go with wiggles if I like to. I just want to keep a consistent lineup for my walls. I don't want things to be mismatched. For example, I'm really not a huge fan of like the way this is mismatched here. So I'm going to drop it back like that. For this compartment, this would be the only instance where I would say go ahead and leave both sides breakable, because this compartment isn't going to lead to anything. Things would come in one side and just go out the other, and they're never really going to get a chance to get to this scatter without a jump. And if they do jump, it's still likely that things would go in and out. I need to place one more scatter down, so I'm going to do that in this area here. Or I can... No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so this scatter comp would be kind of interesting. What does this look like? Okay, yeah, that might work. That looks weird, but it might work. Give me a sec. I don't want too much reachable from the same compartment here, so I gotta limit this. Good. Okay, so that's... So this is going to be a lot of SUI value here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to bait this compartment, this inferno compartment here, and make sure that I don't have that much SUI value. But it should be okay. Now the other thing I need to see here is, am I using too much space on the map? Which the answer is no, so we're good. So this compartment can come out, that can open, and then we'll open this wall back up, and we'll take some walls and we'll just cut across like that. Make things unbreakable on a flat wall and difficult to get into. I'm going to leave this compartment open. And then I have to do something with this. This is kind of just like a strange area. First things first is I need to make sure that these are not reachable from each other. Oh, that's hard. Hold on. Better be safe than sorry. Okay, yeah, we're good. No, we're not. What am I talking about? Here we go. We should be okay for the scatter now. And then we gotta check the inferno. Make sure things aren't reachable. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So I have 24 walls left. I'm looking for areas where I can use them but not waste them. One thing I could do to be trolly would be to have a wall just across here like this. Guys, please do not type in the group chat while I'm doing this. Okay, so I could leave it like this with the walls here like this, but I think I want to instead make the eagle a little bit different. I don't like the way it is right now. So we're just gonna cut away some walls and then do something like this. Okay, so this is breakable at the moment. It just makes things interesting. Because I really don't want this inferno breakable because of the SUI value or charge value behind it. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice wall space, and I will use builder huts at my town hall. And then I'm going to open this wall up like this. Okay. That should be okay just like that. Okay. So, what do I want to do from here? Okay, so first things first, I need to make sure that a Suede would not get both the Inferno and the Scatter, because it would be very easy for somebody to, it would be very easy for an attacker to maybe King Sui this Scatter and then send their Queen some Ice Columns into this, or for example, they could send RC to this Scatter and then try and send heroes in to get the core Scatter. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that this I can't allow that. So I'm going to use my CC, and I'm going to use a Royal Champion to add damage to the back end and distract the heroes. And then for the RC, for the Eagle, I'm going to put my King here. I don't want RC getting the Eagle for free, so King on one side, and then I'll do a Skeleton Trap on the other. It's just I haven't decided where I want to put that yet. Okay, so now I need to place my Queen in my my Grand Warden altar. So my Queen shouldn't be too hard. I just want to put my Queen somewhere in the core. But I want to put a storage here. I want to keep this scatter shot kind of separated from the rest of the base. So I'm also going to put a storage on this side. And then I need flanking DPS. So because I'm trying to stop the Sui, but I'm also not trying to allow them to charge it, because this is a lot of charge value, I need to have DPS that is not reachable from the compartment directly, that is going to flank a charge. So this Expo would be good for that. And you know what I can actually do is I can just make this Inferno single. So to answer the question from earlier that was asked, single versus multi, and explain when you prefer single over a multi, this definitely I would prefer a single. I want to stop an attacker from charging this, so it's very, very simple for me to do. First off, an attacker may or may not just not convince it, or not try and charge this straight up because I have a single here. Or the other option could be I could kill the hero because I have a single here. So I'm looking at my CC range. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can bump my CC out here. And now the CC range matches up with the Inferno range on the entry. And so now I don't have too much of an issue with the charge. If I run anything in the CC, it will get the Queen killed. And this CC placement, it can be changed if I'd like it to change. I'm just, for the time being, that's where it's going to sit. So now I'm thinking about my air defenses, my wizard towers, and my expos for damage. So I want defenses in the channel. A lot of people go wrong with a channel base, and they say that, okay, if you leave a channel empty, then it forces troops to path weird, but that's not true at all. If you leave a channel empty of defenses, it's going to force balloons and hogs and hybrid, and it's all going to stick together, and I want to split things up. So what I'm going to do is, I have a core scatter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a ring around this core scatter, and it's all going to be defenses. So right now I'm going to create that ring out of things like sweepers, expos, air defenses, wizard towers. I'm just defenses that can usually be placed in the core on a normal base, and now I am going to put them there in a channel base too. Nothing really changes, just the wall layout changes. So I can do air defense here. I don't really want to put another one here or something like that. I feel like that's a bit too close. So what I'm going to do is I want to try and create an air defense dead zone around this scatter. So something like this would be good. So now hounds would path from here to here, or here to here, or the middle to the outside here. I can put another one out here, and then my last one, I can drop it right here. The stipulation for putting this one here would just be that I put 2 Seeking Air Mines on it. Then I can kill a hound right away on it, and I don't have any issue of this hound flying to this air defense and pulling up air traps. The other option I have would be to move this air defense up here and do a no-fly zone, or that's just not quite as popular. But it's definitely an option. So I'm going to go Wizard Tower in my 5x5, and I'm looking for sweepers now. Definitely want one pointing towards Town Hall and the multi. I just want to figure out exactly how I want to do it. That looks good like that. Okay, next question. Is your hole at 5 not quite easy to get king in? Is that a problem or not? I assume you mean this hole at 5. So I don't really think this is too much of a problem. I don't think that you would be able to effectively king sui this Inferno, because I'm going to have CC right here. So I think it's safe to say that, while yes, it wouldn't be that hard to get king into there and funnel him in, he wouldn't be able to get the value that you would want him to be getting. And if you're just going to throw king in there to pull CC, then you're wasting your king. So I'm going to try and continue to make a ring around this scatter. So because I have a dead zone here, my next thing I'm going to do is my Teslas. I want to keep this Tesla here so that troops continue to path around the scatter. And if I do that, then I can keep them away from it, and I can trap it effectively. Okay, I have 2 Wizard Towers left. I have 1 up here. I really don't need more than 1 up here, but I think I'm going to just add some secondary splash defense in the area while also keeping that ring. So I have 3 up top. I need 1 in between this Inferno and Scatter. So I have to pick one or the other to have it freezable with. It is what it is. I think the one I'm going to pick to have it freezable with would be the Inferno. Because if I have it freezable with the Inferno, I know that this Wizard Tower also partially covers, and then the Scatter covers as well. Okay, so... Alright, I'll get a question. I need to see questions. There we go. How would you like to mix big and small compartments? I mean, if you see, I like pretty big compartments, but at the same time, they're not huge. Like you'll really never see me using. There's a really common compartment, and it's like double the size of a town hall comp, where you can fit 2 layers of trash in the town hall. You never really will see me doing that, but there are builders that do that, and it's proved to be very effective. It's difficult to funnel on. And then obviously my small comps, I like to mix them with like kind of bigger comps and then my dead zones instead of small comps and big comps. I feel like if you mix small comps and big comps, there's always going to be a ton of jump value. Whereas dead zones, well, yes, you can still jump over them. It makes troops path around. There's nothing there to like make them want to take the jump, so you need to funnel harder. It's just my personal opinion on them. But yeah, I would not put like a 5x5 in the middle of your base. Okay. So next thing I'm thinking of doing here is I need to have good damage in my base. So I'm going to move this Wizard Tower a bit, and I'm going to give myself room to get a Sweeper and an Expo in. And that Sweeper is just going to point downward like that. I want to give the attacker a sense that they're going to be able to Lalo into my Eagle. My goal is to allow them to get my town hall and my inferno with the Sui, I'm okay if they Sui half my base here, because this half of the base is going to be trapped while this side really isn't. So I realized I forgot my warden. So I need to get that down somewhere. I think I'm just going to use it with the RC and continue the defense ring instead of using it with the queen like normal people would do. My queen's not like shallow, it's right in the core. So I'm not too worried about an electron or anything where I would need to have the warden by my queen. So now what I'm going to focus on here is I need to stop a charge straight into my town hall. Because I don't want them to be able to charge both the Inferno and the Town Hall. I'd like to force them to like RC for one of them. I want them to use an RC on this Inferno, so I don't have them using an RC on a back-end Inferno. So I'll do that two ways, and I'll show you with the Teslas the second way, but the first way is going to be I want to make sure that they can't charge it. Like, that they can't just break in through a dead zone, which is one of the reasons why dead zone's here. I explained this a little bit in the inspiration I posted, but if I just have the walls like this, after you break the wizard tower, the next wall breaker will go to this junction. By putting a dead zone here, it makes it so that you can't break into that anymore, and the next wall breaker just kind of goes haywire. The wall breakers tend to either go to like this wall here, or they tend to try and break through to the town hall, like through this wall here. And if they do that, it's really, really difficult to force your queen into the wizard tower and through this little hole. Things are not just going to take this path very often, especially after they were pulled all the way to this side of the compartment. So what I'm going to try and do is add damage without really wasting my damage buildings. So I can move this wizard tower if I like, and I can put an X-bow. But really where I need an X-bow, to be honest, is going to be on the other side of the channel. I need an X-bow. I really need this like here, because if my damage is reachable, they can just rage through it. Whereas if I can put my damage on the other side of the base and not allow them to reach it, then they have to break through a wall, then they have to take extra damage, and it becomes harder. Okay, question. Has the Town Hall 13 building meta changed with the Avalanche or Blizzard strategy, whatever it's called? Or is it not really a viable strategy? Oh, it's definitely a viable strategy. Things you have to look out for is, for example, dead zones like this, where the wizards can shoot both sides. That's definitely something I'm going to have to trap up, and when I'm doing that trapping up, I will show you how I do it, obviously. But yeah, no, it's definitely dangerous to have a dead zone like this, where if the wizard bomb drops, like say where this Tesla is, the wizards can shoot both sides, and they'll pull CC, and it'll just be a mess. So typically I would not recommend using this unless you're going to bait it hard. And that baits will involve Tornado to pull the blimp to one side, and then they won't get the value that they were hoping to get. So I'm now looking for my last X-bow placement. I think I want it... I really should put it with my scatter here. I really should put it with my scatter. Okay, I can't force it to my scatter, but what I can do is I can move my wizard tower and X-bow like that. Yeah, that'll be okay. And then I can put a bomb tower in here. So if you watched the Town Hall 12 live build, I said that the bomb towers need to go outside. For Town Hall 13, I want to take that back. You don't really want to do that. You need the bomb towers in there to do damage to hybrid. Anything you can do to force a heal for hybrid, you want to do. It's so annoying when an attacker has a heal and can cover a large area, and then there's no chance you have to stop it. You can't really spring it too well, and even if you do spring the whole thing, it tanks for the RC, and then you have to deal with her. So I'll show you a good way to deal with the RC because she can be a pain during a hybrid. And then I'll also show the way that I would personally deal with a hybrid attack on this base. Because it's a pretty straightforward hit. You would just charge the Inferno or send a blimp on the Inferno and charge the Town Hall. And then a hybrid through the Eagle like this. I'll show you a good way to split the hybrid up and make sure that it dies. Okay, so I'm going pretty heavy with the defenses here. I know it's pretty straightforward pathing, but I'm really okay with it. I want to really bulk up this area of the base. Okay, so now I'm going to go with my archer towers just to give me some air coverage, and then my last archer towers will all go up top here. I don't really need them down here. I mean, I have pretty good air coverage already, so I'm gonna use them on the top side of the base and make sure that I'm not leaving myself weak to some sort of funnel. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have one more archer tower. Looking for where I can use it. Okay, I will use it. I think I'll use it here. No, that'll be a storage. Yeah, I'll just throw this archer tower in this corner. That's fine. So now I have my cannons and I have my storages to use to fill in the rest of the base. Yeah, cannons can go inside the base at Town Hall 13. Usually you'll struggle to put out enough damage on the middle of the base, so cannons can be a good way to add some sort of extra power to the inside of your base, especially when you have a dead core like this. So I'm just going to do a cannon here, and I'm going to do a cannon on the other side of this. Like I said, they will add damage, it's just not going to be a ton. And then I'm going to storage. I want to create that consistent defense ring around the scatter, like I said before. So right now I'm using the CC and my elixir storage as heroes as my segregation, and then I have my defenses that will surround it and allow pathing to be pretty easy for loons to just completely ignore the scatter. So I'll do one more bomb tower there, and then my defense ring's complete. I can go with a hut there, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'll just go with the storage. And then I want a cannon outside. Actually, I'll just put a mortar here. I don't want the wizard tower tankable if possible, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. So this will be a Tesla farm area in this area here, probably. The other option would be, because I need to do this anyway, so that I don't just have directly targetable stuff. I might do Teslas in here. Because to be honest with you, I don't want things to just go straight into my Town Hall comp. So I can't get that perfect. That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to have to use those Teslas there. I really don't have a choice. I have one more that I can use to manipulate pathing. The worst thing I could do would be to put the Tesla on the other side of the dead zone because it looks fancy and make this wall breakable. A lot of people I see, if they put one Tesla in the dead zone, they put two in. And you don't want to do that. If you're trying to make something unbreakable, don't go putting a Tesla there. That'll make it breakable. It's something important to think about. So I'm going to go with a storage, and then a cannon. That's a mortar. A cannon. And then I'm going to go with a cannon and a mortar here. Because, like I said about back up here, I want to bulk up the base. I want to make sure there's a lot of damage in this hybrid path so I can kill the hybrid and have enough left over to kill the RC. If I don't do that, the RC will finish off the rest of the base, even if I killed the hybrid. So now I'm just, I mean, it's pretty simple trash. I'm not going to go crazy with my trash ring. I'm not going to have a ton of trash like I would usually have here. On a normal base, you have a ton of trash. On a channel base, you don't, because you have to fill things with trash because it's such a big base. So for the air defense here, I just don't want to make it directly targetable. I'm just going to throw a cannon right in the middle, and it'll just make it annoying. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to kind of back up. I want to look at the base. How exactly would the attacker hit it? Even though there's not much here, it's not complete. I want to look at the pathing that's created, and would the attacker potentially try and do something that I don't want them to do. So, for example, one thing is I'm expecting some sort of charge on the town hall, but my CC is across the base. So I can kind of eliminate a very big charge on my town hall here, considering that my CC is so far. I'm going to use my last Tesla just to make it annoying to pull the CC. And then I can go with that. I can roll with this. This is good. Okay, so I'm going to knock this as Expo over, and then I'm going to start filling in the rest. I need a cannon or mortar here. I'm going to go with cannon. And then I need storages there and there. Mortar inside the base is an absolute no. So I'm just going to do... I'll do a pump. I'll do a pump here too. I got one more cannon, so I'm going to put that in front of my king. And then I want to put my mortar... just need to switch a couple of things up. Okay, that should be okay like that. So I realize I really don't have a ton of corner coverage here. Like, this is all going to be free trash. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and bluff a Tesla farm of some sort. So I'm going to use, like, my last storage and a couple of, like, consistent defense buildings. So sometimes people will be more inclined to think there's a Tesla farm somewhere if you put the same building over and over and over again. It's the same thing with when I go crazy with storages here in the middle. You're more likely to notice that I have storages in the middle if I'm going to use the same one of each time. So I'm actually going to swap this out. I'm going to put a dark elixir storage there because I don't want to I don't want to be running this base with full elixir storages and it looks super obvious. Like, full elixir storages are just these big pink balls, and I feel like you'll notice eventually that they're surrounding a scatter, and then they might look harder at the pathing, which I don't want them to do. I don't want them to realize that the scatter is on an island. So what I'm going to do is I need to use my last hut like that. I'll go camp there. And then I need to fill in this trash ring. And if I run out of trash, I'll show you what to do. But it's a pain if you do. Okay, so I'm typically going to go with unbounceable trash. Even if I was trying to bait something, I wouldn't intentionally give them bounceable trash. Unless, like, I'm really, really struggling to bait something. And in that case, you might as well scrap the base. If you're struggling to bait something, or you're struggling to defend something that you baited, if you can't defend something that you baited, you can't use that base. If you're going to bait something, it has to defend what you baited. There's no choice there. So you have to be careful about that, and you have to make sure that don't make something easy for an attacker and then make it too easy for them that you can't fix it, because then you got a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna put the storage out a little bit. I don't want it right up against the wall, so I'm thinking like right here. That would be okay. And then, like I said before, where were all my gold mines? Okay. Like I said, I want consistent buildings. I want it to look kind of awkward to the attacker, so that they're like, maybe there is more than just some trash. Okay, so I ran out of trash big time. Okay, well, while I'm thinking of trying to what I can snag for some trash, I'll go with a question. Is is zapping an air defense and an air sweeper a problem? That's a good question. Okay, so dragons are kind of a big deal in this meta right now. I believe the Gladiator finals today actually had like 4 dragon attacks or something. It was a lot more like spam than you would have expected. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a problem. It's more just something to be aware of. I don't want to give them free. I don't want to give them free value. So like, if they were going to zap this air defense anyway, I don't want to put a sweeper right next to it. That being said, I don't think that they're just going to zap this air defense. It's right in the core of the base. Anything that they drop is going to have to pass through that area anyway. Typically, they're going to zap a back-end air defense, like, for example, the one by the Eagle. Or maybe they'll send RC to the Eagle, and then they have to zap this one. They're not going to go crazy zapping air defenses either. At Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12, typically there's a lot more zaps. They'll zap more things, and then they'll use less spells for the dragons. At 13, it's usually the opposite, where they'll zap 1 or 2 things and then use the rest for spells for the dragons. So I would not say it's a big deal, but it's definitely something to be wow, that was bad. It's definitely something to be aware of. Okay, so I still haven't figured out exactly how I want to fix the trash problem, but we're thinking. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. So, okay, that would have been a good play. However, I want to make sure that for the hybrid, I can put springs in here, because a lot of the miners are going to get pulled by my queen. So springs like right in these 2 buildings, that's going to be a really good spot for him. So I don't want to leave that open. That being said, I can totally put a wall piece here and save that storage. I can totally put a wall piece like somewhere like here and save the storage. I mean, same thing goes for right there. However, I'm going to replace this with a storage then. And then really any non-storage building that is trash in the base, I'm looking to replace with a storage now that I have so many. So maybe this. Okay, this is just awkward. It's okay. It's just the way I did this was probably not the best. Now I gotta bail myself out. Okay, where's my workshop? Give me that. I'll put a camp here. I can use the workshop. It has a ton of health. So I can use the workshop to kind of bail me out of spots where trash may be kind of awkward. Because it's a 4x4 building, it can kind of help if you are like me and you put yourself in a dumb spot. So I can knock my lab and my dark elixir drill off the wall. Never mind, just the lab. Okay, really? Let's not do it like that. Let's do it like this. Okay, and then I can put something like that, like a spell factory or something there. So I can use this to kind of bail me out. Okay. Still trying to figure out how to conserve trash here. So I'll do a question. No fly zones. No, that's not a serious question. Wizard towers help against Lala. Someone told me that they didn't do much at 13, so no wizard towers next to air defenses, or what? So wizard towers next to air defenses. Okay, at 13 it's really not that big of a deal, to be honest. Typically you're trying to trap a Lalo more than you are trying to kill the Lalo with like wizard towers and stuff. If your wizard towers are going to like shoot a Lalo when it has no hound tanking, so like for example here and here, where the hounds are just going to completely ditch the loons, it's good to have wizard towers. But there's nothing stopping me from having like, actually I didn't do it anyway, but like if I had like a wizard tower here, for example, like the base is not going to defend because there's air defenses in range of this wizard tower. It's actually probably more likely that this base would not defend because they're going to bat bomb that. So it's not necessarily about me trying to keep things away from my air defenses. It just kind of happened like that, and it's also part of my habits because I do build lower town halls as well. But no, it's not that big of a deal. Would they zap your scatter? Oh, that's a scatter. Would you zap your scatter shot to get pathing? Okay, so they could zap my scatter shot to get pathing. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad call on their part. It's just a lot of people don't think to do it. Even if you were to zap that scatter shot, I don't think that it gives you a ton of pathing. Because I'm still gonna trap like this area here, in here, because I mean no air defense is gonna cover that, and the hounds aren't gonna fly right across it. So, while yes they could get pathing off of it, I don't know that they'd actually do it. And if they would do it, then I mean it's good on their part. You can only stop so much, so I would rather make them do something like that than, and like do a Lalo or something than spam super witches or something like that. No, I don't really use that wall layout. Okay, so because not everyone's in the live stream. So the question was, do you use this wall layout at 13 or this hole at 13? No, I really don't, and I really don't really know the reason behind it. I think honestly, it's the fact that this uses a wall, and if I use too many of them, it really does take a hit on my walls. However, I don't think that it's really as important to stop a King Sui at 13 because there's a lot more damage that if they do a King Sui, you can one either kill the King Sui or two you can just kill the queen alone. I personally believe that at 13 to pick off like stray defenses, it's more important to have defenses so that the RC doesn't take out the defense and get too far in. So like for example, my eagle here, I said it as I was building it. I want my king here because if they RC my eagle, I'm going to have a huge problem. So that's just what I'm trying to avoid. And if I feel like if I put this here, that's just less damage that's going to be on my RC. or their RC, and if I would do this in any place other than the eagle, say like over here, then this RC can probably get that Inferno, and that's really not what I want. Same thing if I would do it with the scatter, same thing if I would do it anywhere else. I just want damage near my key defenses. Okay, so I don't really know what questions I answered or did not answer. Hope that helps. Okay, so how early on do you scrap, or do you keep going to see how the base plays out? I feel like I'm wasting my time while building. Okay, so at Town Hall 13, I do scrap a lot more often. I would do probably 1 or 2 bases, and then probably have to scrap 1. So for every 2 bases I keep, I probably scrap 1. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more things to consider at 13 than something like Town Hall 12 or Town Hall 11. And because of that, you can't just do random things and get lucky and get away with it. There's too much available to an attacker on offense that if you make a mistake as a builder, they're going to capitalize on it, and it will most likely lead as your base getting tripled. So while yes, I think that that I feel like you can do things and still get lucky with them. I do. I feel like I scrap things when I realize something's wrong about them. But like at Town Hall 12, I've scrapped bases because the trash ring isn't how I like it. I mean, I would never do that at 13 because these do take a lot of time, and you don't want to feel like you're wasting your time. I just won't do that. Okay, so I'm looking for a non like bounceable. There we go. I just want something that they won't be able to bounce that gold mine from, because that could be a good funnel. Okay, so I got my 1 wall. Doesn't really matter where I put it per se. I think I'm gonna chuck it right here though. Yeah, that'll be good, because I'm expecting a hybrid, and this will split hybrid up. And then I can use this archer tower. Oh, come on, there's gotta be a cannon somewhere that I can swap it with. Guess not, whatever. Okay, that's fine, I'll just let that go. Okay. So I'm about to go into traps. So is there any questions on the actual base itself without the traps before I really get into the traps? Yeah, I know. I see what. Okay. What's with the easy to funnel trash at 9? I'm gonna be real with you. This base would be more for a 1-hit format war than anything else, and I don't really care that that's easy to funnel, because it's gonna take forever to funnel. If somebody wants to take 45 seconds to funnel that, I'm going to say, go for it. If somebody wants to spend 30 or 40 camp space to funnel that, I'm completely okay with it. Go for it. But most likely, I'm doing that mainly for an attacker to say, well, what if there's Teslas in there? Why would a builder just allow an easy to funnel corner? Because it's all for 1-hit wars, it's all for mind games. Draco, why do you not move the Archer Tower at 1 o'clock, one tile to the southwest? Because I don't want the Wizard Tower tankable. If I do that, then the Wizard Tower can be tanked. I just kind of ran out of builder huts. I would usually put a hut there so that it's not like able to be taken out with a loon and funnel. It's just I can only do so much. I only have so many huts, and I have to use one there, have to use 2 there, and then the 3 I absolutely have to use there. Okay, so there's one more question about the actual base, and then I'll go into traps. It's both are more about the air defense placements. So one says, what about placing the air defense right outside the Inferno comp at 8 o'clock? You'd have double layer trash. You could have double layer trash before. It is at 8 o'clock. I mean, like, I don't want to put it here, because, I mean, they'll just throw, like, I don't know, like a super giant at it or something. Like, I don't know. I that's free. I don't know if that's what you meant. I mean, it kind of is at 8 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe that question was before I moved it. And then the other one would be about the no-fly zones. So do no-fly zones work at 13? I assume they do, but some people told me that they don't. That's kind of a question that it's up to the builder. Some people will tell you things don't. Some people will tell you that things don't work because they haven't worked in their experience, and that will go for a lot of things, not just no-fly zones. For me, I wouldn't necessarily consider this a no-fly zone. It's just I don't have an air defense at 6 o'clock. It's not necessarily intentional. It just allows me to trap it easier. And because I know nobody will start a Lalo from 6 o'clock and fly right into a sweeper, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with having no air defenses down there. And then to answer the second part of that question, why some people have told me they don't. It's not really a big deal what people tell you. It's not even a big deal if I tell you something. You kind of got to do what you feel is right and do what has worked for you. I would always test something. I would not just take someone's word for something. Everything I say in this video or this live build, I wouldn't say that that's the end-all be-all. Try it out yourself, see what works for you, and then build off of that and kind of get your own style from it. Okay, fine. I'll take one more question about the actual base. How many ground versus air expos for a base, and in what cases would you know you want more of one or the other? So I typically try and have 2 ground expos and 2 air expos if I can get away with it. But if I can't get away with having 2 ground expos, if Lalo's really, really killing me, then I can switch it. It's not that big of a deal. But it's nice to have 2 ground expos to add damage to a base. Because every single attack is going to involve... every attack is going to involve some sort of ground, even if it's just heroes. So that's all. Is there a reason that the Town Hall comp dead zone is longer than it needs to be to block queen reachability? Yes, because it's supposed to break wall break ability. A wall break... Oh, hold on, I don't know where that wall came from. Okay, so a wall break would come in and target this wall at the absolute deepest, and this wall would not open this wall. Whereas if the dead zone is only for queen walk ability... I mean, if the dead zone's only for queen walk ability, then it's just this small little... Well, it's just this. I mean, that's it. And then the wall break can get into it. So the reason I have it bigger is because I don't want a wall breaker opening up both compartments. Okay, I'm gonna go into traps. You guys can keep asking questions as I go with the traps, and then I will get them answered, and then we'll talk about why this base will stop hybrid and Lala. Okay, so now this is just kind of preliminary traps. This is not until, testing, but the first thing I'm going to trap is going to be the hybrid. I would totally expect an attacker to try and charge my Town Hall in the Inferno, and then try and hybrid into the Eagle. It gets a lot of key. It gets a lot of key defenses down early. You don't have to deal with an Eagle back end, and you can get the Town Hall with your charge, and you can get extra value with the Inferno. So I'm going to assume an attacker does that, and if they don't, then, well, I just have to retest it. So I'm going to go with Spring here. I said earlier about how the heroes are going to pull the miners in. So because the queen range is how it is, I'm expecting the heroes to pull the miners into the scatter. So, and same thing with the RC. I'm expecting them to pull things away and then leave the hogs exposed to springs. But because the miners are going to end up in this compartment anyway, I might as well spring it. The majority of my giant bombs will be on the back end for hybrid for after they run out of heals. However, I need some to force heals out early. So I'm expecting them to tome through my Eagle, first heal over this compartment, second heal going into the scatter. So what I need to do is I need to stall the miners before they get to this scatter. Because if they heal once they get to the scatter, they win. They're going to triple their base. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to use a tornado that's going to do... Actually, no, I need to use the tornado for this. They're going to blimp this. Okay. Hold on, I need to make an adjustment. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now I need to kill this blimp without Coco Loons getting too much. So the tornado goes what? Counterclockwise? So I'm going to pull troops away. I mean, if it goes counterclockwise, the blimp ends up over here anyway on this side. So I'm just going to go my 2 Sams there to kill it, like once it gets rotated around so it dies on this side, because I'd prefer them not to get the single down. Because I'm going to do air traps near the singles. So like what do they self-pop it? If they self-pop it, they never get over the wall. If they self-pop it, the wizard towers still end up in here, and I can just throw a giant bomb here. I just didn't get to that yet. So, yeah, I might as well just do that a while. So I'm going to go with giant bombs and small bombs to kill the wizard. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to put a skeleton trap in here to distract them. It's not going to keep them busy for long, but it's going to tank 1 shot. So I have 2 more skelly traps. They're probably going to all be on ground because this hybrid is kind of like a channel base kind of baits hybrid. So I'm expecting hybrid. So I'm going to use these to slow down a Sui by having them here. It can slow down a wizard bomb even longer if I just bounce it like that. But it's also going to slow down a hybrid from getting to the scatter and force maybe an early kind of awkward heal. And then because I'm expecting them to heal over this, then I can trap this like crazy with giant bombs. Yeah, that looks good. So now what I can do is I can finish my springs. I'm expecting they might even just blimp this. If I made that single, they would definitely blimp it. But I don't really want to do that. I want to keep that multi if I can. So I'm just going to leave it multi. I know it's not a ton of damage here, but it is what it is. So I'm looking for hybrid springs. Okay, so we'll go that one there. And then we'll stick one. This is called a wall spring. We'll go 2 wall springs. And we'll stick one in between there. Those all need to be tested. So I would never just say, I would never just straight up say that the springs need to just go as they are. I would always test them, because if they don't get tested, there's no way to know that they work. Your base could get thrashed. It's not good. So I'm going to go Seeking Air Mine on these 2 air defenses. I need 2 of them, if I can spare it. If I can't spare it, oh, actually I have 2 there, so never mind, I can't do that. So this charge needs SAMs. Because I'm thinking, because of the way the dead zone is and how people aren't used to this dead zone yet, they're not likely to just charge it and hope that super wall breaks work. I'm expecting them to kind of be confused about that, and just say, you know what, screw it, I'll blimp it. And if they blimp it, I'm going to be in good shape, because then they have to charge my Town Hall, they'll lose healers, and then my unreachable DPS will kill the queen. That's my goal. Okay, so now for air traps. This is the fun part. So there's that air defense range. So I am just going to stack these like crazy. So because I'm not expecting a hound to fly from here to here, I can do that and get away with it. The other option would be in testing, if hounds fly from there to there, I can do the same thing, but down here at 6. So I can move these, I can move that to like here or something. I can bump this out, and then I can use the tornado to kind of try and kill stuff, like that, maybe. I'm just trying to stack these, because like I know no hound will fly through here. There's no reason for them to start Lalo like that. The only thing I might have to be concerned about is like a queen charge Lalo where they like charge the Town Hall, like maybe blimp this, charge Town Hall, and then fly 1 hound into this from like this direction, and then fly a 2nd hound across the scatter. So to make sure they don't do that, that's why I have 2 SAMs on this. If they do that and they pull up all my traps, then at least their loons are gonna end up dying to the scatter, or at least they're gonna lose loons. And even if they do that, even after all of that, they still have to make a way to funnel this scatter in, or they have to find a way to funnel troops into the scatter. So the other viable place for these traps could just be sitting on the scatter. So I need to put these back to where they were. Okay, good. So the other place I can put them is stacked on the scatter. But I need to test hound pathing before I just do that. But I know I want my air bombs stacked in this kind of this area right here. If I can do that, and I don't have a hound flying through there, then I can be pretty sure that Alala will die early. Okay. So now I just am going to set these small bombs up. And my last one is just going to be a bounce King Barbarians. and I think it's okay like that. So, questions on traps and stuff. Okay, is there no questions on traps whatsoever? Do I always stack red bombs? No, I don't always stack my red bombs. However, if I make something like this, where I feel like it's fairly obvious to Sui Town Hall, or like for me personally, if I'm hitting this, I'm thinking, okay, I should Sui the Town Hall, and I can RC this multi with the air defense, and maybe even RC trick the second one. I have a pretty straightforward Lalo path that would be adjacent to my Sui that I can get the Eagle early. So I do personally feel like that they will do that. When it comes to traps, a lot of things is testing. It's making sure, like, for example, a hound doesn't fly through all of this and pop it, and then I get tripled by Lalo. It would be the same thing with the springs. I need to test the springs, make sure every single one of them goes off, because if not, then they're being wasted. But I feel like if I do good testing and it all works, then the base is usually pretty good to go, even if it has stacked red air bombs. Next recording on testing, maybe, we'll see. What does that Tesla behind the Eagle do? Okay, so I'll end the video on my little drawing screen here. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm just going to show this. This is pretty simple. Now that I promised everyone I would explain what segregation is after the season was over, so I'll kind of go over this. So segregation would be completely splitting. It would be completely splitting a defense away from everything else. So all I'm doing is I'm creating a ring around the scatter so that loons don't path directly into it. So that's the ring I got created. Okay. And all this Tesla does is it just helps things to continue to make this circle. I don't know why that's... Okay, it just allows this circle of defenses around the scatter to just go all the way around. It helps it go full circle. I have the Tesla there because I was worried that this sweeper would be too close to the scatter, that loons, if, let's say, like this portion of it was already cleared, I was worried that I would have loons that would split like this to the scatter. So I put a Tesla there to make sure that 100% they go through the Tesla and they continue to make their rounds. This goes for that exact same Lalo plan that I was talking about. I'm expecting Lalo to come in like this. I'm expecting the first hound. That first hound will die. And I'm expecting a second hound probably like this. Or they might even send it like this. I'm just hoping they don't, because then I have to move my traps. But so if this is what I'm trying to defend, and some people, honestly, some people like to do first hound there and then second hound like there, and then they both fly over. Which I don't know. We'll see. I need to see what works and what doesn't and stuff. But let's say that their basic Lalo path is going to be just drawing the loon pathing. So like this will come in like this. Stuff will split to here. Stuff will split to here. Stuff will go around. And then stuff will go around this side too. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy this scatter time, so once the tome runs out, that the scatter has an ability to just shoot on loons the entire time. So that's what I'm trying to do. Depends on what the attackers do too, doesn't it? If some do 1 hound or some do 2 hound. Most will do 2 hound. Yeah, most are going to do 2 hound here. Because I'm expecting them to just try and kill my CC mid Lalo. Just drop a poison and freeze on the minions and zap the headhunters. However, I'm probably going to run a hound CC. Okay, so I'll just, while you have this open, I can try and explain the hybrid too. So I'm expecting a charge. Like, I really don't think, so part of attacking is making the attacker, or part of the defending is making the attacker feel uncomfortable. This really isn't something that people do a lot, this dead zone, just for pathing. So I don't think the attacker is going to feel comfortable just going balls to the wall and hitting that. I think it's more important to think that they'll, okay, well, that's not how a blimp would path at all. I think it's more likely that they blimp this, take this compartment out, and once that compartment's out, then they will queen charge the top and go through my town hall, which ends up clearing like all of this, and then the queen also clears the first layer into the channel. So let's just assume all this gets cleared. Okay. So now the hybrid path is this. It's going to go straight through here. Okay, but they're not going to want to send it that wide. So they're probably going to send king. Okay. So king will probably try and cut the funnel. He'll fight the king. Okay, then the siege barracks, or well, no, they're blimping. So let's just say the king down the side. King goes down the side. Okay. The hybrid comes in, and then it's going to take a split. One side will be the darker yellow, this ugly color. That's going to be the miners that go to the queen. The other side is going to be the normal yellow, which is going to be the hogs that are going to stick to around the ring of defenses and go right through the springs. And then the third one is going to be the RC, which is this really bright yellow. And the RC is going to kind of stay behind. She's going to chill back here a little bit. You know, she's going to fight the king. And then she's going to step up. And she's going to probably end up in the middle with the hogs. She'll probably go straight. And so what I'm doing here with these skelly traps is I'm trying to buy time. I want them to go and use their heals. Now, I understand I'm going to use red for heals, but just everyone know I'm using red for heals here. I'm expecting them to do first heal through this bomb tower. And then the second heal, the attacker will want to try and split it like this. I want to make them heal earlier. I want to make this heal more like here. So by putting the skeletons there, I'm just going to stall everything. Okay, so yeah, so that's the other reason for running a hound CC. I typically on a channel base will intentionally split my CC from the charge, because I want the attacker to, either have to think about it or to just assume they can try and deal with it. In a one-hit war, typically they're either going to try and pull that CC, or they're going to bring 2 poisons, or they're going to bring, 2 poisons and a freeze or something like that, just to try and kill CC. By bringing a hound, I can be annoying with that. The hound's not going to help with the hybrid per se, but it is going to be annoying for the RC. Okay, so it's not that I don't think somebody will, I just don't think it's going to work. Like, if they charge CC, there's a ton of damage there. You're fighting 2 heroes, 2 scatters, an X-bow. You're going to end up activating Eagle because of all the spells you're going to have to use, and you're going to have to fight a single. Okay, and then the last thing I want to go over real quick why this is my personal opinion, I like building like this. Nobody agrees with me that this works, but I like building like this. Everyone has an opinion. My opinion on this is very simple. I want to make it difficult for an attacker to just go super witches on my base. This type of base will defend super witches, whereas a more compact base will not. We have this saying right now in the building community: you can't kill super witches. You just either get tripled or they time fail. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force the super witches that when they go into my town hall and the attacker jumps them and does a second jump, that this second jump will not connect all the values on the back end. The jump either has to go here and they get eagle, or the jump has to go here and they get the scatter and the multi. Now, I understand that they can siege barracks this side. You know, I mean, they can maybe warden walk the Inferno. Let's just say they warden walk this junk, and then, they can send RC wherever they want. They'll probably send siege barracks and king here. They're gonna need both to funnel all this junk, and then maybe RC comes in here, like this, and then in this situation, their jump goes here. That's just not what I was trying to do. The situation, the jump goes there. I am creating a situation where even if they jump, these big boys are going to split. They're going to go crazy. The second they get into this channel, they're always going to prefer to just go to the closest building instead of taking a jump, and that forces them to go this way and this way once they're inside the base. And yeah. Also, like the question that was just asked, would anyone even try super witches? No, probably not. Because of the way that the base is set up, it's very unlikely that they try them, which allows me to focus on defending other things. Because if I build a base that was not going to defend super witches with just the base, then I need to put like 5 SAMs in the core of the base just to kill healers, and it's not worth it. Or I need to kill the warden, but that's difficult too.